Before it was Spinnerella and Natasa getting some characterization, now it's Adora's old squad mates. Kind of weird we're only now giving a lot of the side characters some attention, considering we had 2 previous seasons that were, well, pretty short. Yet even though they're just doing this now, it never feels as if the writers are eating up screen time to make room for this, and we get some interesting progression from these side characters we barely looked at. Plus, I feel like this episode does something more important with them, and I'll get to that after... Adora.
Am I done now?
Being constantly offered a chance to answer, yet still being denied, has reached a sort of breaking point this time, as Light Hope seems to be the only person left that could have answers for Adora, yet she keeps ignoring or dodging her questions.
And she was talking about a weapon. If there's something that can protect us from the Horde, I need to know about it.
But are we getting any answers this episode, or are they just reusing this framing device again to accomplish something else like all the times before?
It is your purpose as she.
Oh yeah, definitely that latter one. Look, there's this cycle I've noticed with Adora and wanting answers. Adora will suddenly want answers from someone or somewhere and express these deep feelings about it, despite going through a few episodes of expressing a zero care about any of that. Adora goes out to try and find wherever she thinks she'll find answers, but fails to do so and instead uncovers something else that raises even more mystery and intrigue than we already have, ultimately answering nothing while adding more questions to the pile. Adora moves on for that with a few other episodes of not caring, and then we restart. In this episode, some weird thing causes a system reset for Light Hope, and then through trying to exploit this advantage to learn anything about Mara, She-ra herself, she ends up just having to reset Light Hope anyway, but sees a recording that Mara and Light Hope were once close.
Blooming all over the planet right now. Here, smell.
I have no olfactory sensors. I cannot smell.
In spite of the fact Light Hope consistently states that Mara was quote-unquote unhinged, wrecked the planet, and is irrelevant now.
They're pretty though, right?
Pretty. Yes, they are aesthetically pleasing. Thank you for bringing them.
She still held on to this memory, and Adora now aims to treat Light Hope differently from now on, because she has now seen this bottled up side to Light Hope, and thinks it was this bad experience with Mara that has led to Light Hope becoming the way that she is now. Distant and trying to keep any emotions locked down, and Adora tries to say, hey, you can trust me because we're friends. Which it seems as if they might have some shift towards becoming real friends, until it's immediately turned on its head with Light Hope doing this with the recording.
This memory should have been purged per directive of the Heart of Etheria project. Permanently delete.
Which is the first obvious sign that Light Hope is shady and might not be the one on Adora's side as we think, but there were also 2 subtle signs in previous seasons if you're a bit more of an observant viewer, and while I do find this episode fun at times, as Adora has to deal with the sort of factor reset Light Hope, I still have an issue with it because, as I said back in season 1, constantly raising more mystery and intrigue is fine, but eventually there will come a time when the audience goes from, ooh, I wonder where this is going, to, oh my god, would you just give us something already? I get that they're trying to set up some big twist, and while I do like the twist, the way they're not really building up to it, okay? All this is them just raising more and more and more questions, so that way they can answer them all in one sweep, to make it look like it's this big grand reveal far larger than it already was, even though the twist itself was fine as is. It's as if they thought dumping an excessive amount of cream on their taco would make us enjoy it all the more. Anyway, apparently the weather on Etheria can have these spores that can melt through metal? How the hell does anyone live in the Whispering Woods with this? This stuff both puts Light Hope on the fritz and strands Lonnie, Kyle, and Rogelio in the woods. Now, this spore thing is something contrived solely to create both their situations. We've never heard of nor seen this storm before or ever again, which annoys me because I need to know if this storm is an occasional weather event or is a one-time thing that's never ever happened, because no one will be able to live in the Whispering Woods like this. And if this was a one-time deal, wouldn't it have displaced a lot of people? Wouldn't it have ruined any of the Horde encampments that are in the Whispering Woods right now? This spore storm is something that should shape how the people of Etheria live. And yet it doesn't, because it is just a contrivance thrown in to create the two scenarios needed for this episode to go ahead. It's like the knife storm in Adventure Time. Does anyone remember Adventure Time? That whole like knife storm thing that shows up out of nowhere that literally drops knives from the sky? The difference is, Adventure Time is intentionally supposed to be completely bonkers and ridiculous. She-ra, on the other hand, is trying to be a bit more serious. Yet it's times like this that make me think if the world building just completely took a back seat, or was just completely neglected when they first started writing this show. The Gang in the Woods have their own problems throughout this episode, stuck in the Whispering Woods after the Spores disabled some key wiring and even burns them away from repairing it. They were already traveling through a contested area by themselves, hoping not to get ambushed and wondering if Catra's even going to appreciate this, and of course not.
Where are you? You were supposed to be back an hour ago.
Woods are attacking us with very painful snow.
Yeah, she doesn't even try to understand the situation her old squad mates are in, and just tells them to just move on. Just pick someone to go outside and fix the problem.
Not it.
And it's actually funny to watch Kyle do everything in his power not to be picked. He's the weakest, and that's well established by previous seasons, and as a result he's easily cowered by others, something he's well aware of, I think.
All in favor of blaming this on Kyle?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's unanimous.
Oh man.
So he tries inventing this game to determine who has to go outside.
When Rogelio bounced it off that thing, you said it was -5 points.
That's because he forgot the magic password.
And Kyle becomes that one asshole on the playground who keeps making up rules in order to win. Even when he screws up and loses, Kyle still tries to like play it off as if he's somehow won.
No, that's a different move, and I get all the points and I win.
Oh, no way, not happening.
Yeah, but after all that, things actually get serious as the situation devolves further. And they all realize how bad things can get if they don't move away from there. Kyle then voices aloud, wondering if anyone's gonna come to rescue them, to which Lonnie instantly dismisses it.
Nobody is coming. We gotta save ourselves.
Then loudly wonders why they should care at all, if Catra clearly thinks so little of them. And it's kind of sad to see Kyle try to deny that.
She may be mean, but we've always had each other's backs. She probably sent us on this mission for, like, team building.
Even going so far as to mistake the portal reality as something that actually occurred. And it's concerning that this is a pleasant memory, seeing as how a lot of his ration bars are what makes up that cake.
You guys are the only family I've ever had. We're a unit.
Full on showing just how naive the kid actually is. Meanwhile, Lonnie knows full well why they of all people were sent out there by Catra.
We're expendable. Catra doesn't care about us. Adora left us. Everything they taught us in the Horde about loyalty is meaningless. It's everyone for themselves.
Is Lonnie cynical? Yes, and understandably so, as that is the truth. They're nothing more than replaceable cogs in the machine, and she can't believe Kyle has yet to realize this. Like that one driver in the beginning of last episode, just sent out there to accomplish a task, and everyone, especially Catra, could care less what happens to them afterwards. And after breaking Kyle's rather flimsy worldview, he decides, screw it.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
Oh, Kyle, quit fooling around.
And while he does so, it is telling how Lonnie and Rogelio tries to stop him, even calling him back inside.
Okay, you made your point, Kyle. Now turn around. That's an orc.
And the kid actually managed to fix the thing under immense pain from the spores. It's a miracle he even survived this, especially after he falls unconscious from the pain and keeps getting roasted, and needs to be saved by Lonnie and Rogelio, whose only option is to use armored plating they're hauling to save him.
Oh, Catra will kill us if it's damaged.
Yeah, fuck Catra. And after some effort, they pull Kyle out of that mess, and when he comes to later, there's Lonnie trying to save face.
We just knew you were gonna mess it up like you always do.
Failing to maintain her formal cynical attitude. And then Rogelio, yeah, we have no idea what Rogelio was saying, but I feel as if we don't need someone to fully spell everything out. They do care about one another, having grown up together, bunked together, and yeah, Catra isn't on friendly terms, and Adora did just leave them behind. But so what? They don't matter. Only them to each other. I think the main point of giving these three their own solo adventure is to try and humanize the people within the Horde. These three were already not some faceless Horde soldiers to the audience because we followed them a bit throughout the show as side characters, but this episode really gave them more depth to humanize the Horde away from some faceless mob, which I think is to partly make Catra look even more like a dirtbag as she sent her old squad mates into hostile territory and sacrifice troops constantly. She didn't even try to understand the situation they were in, just telling them to hop to it and threaten them. And it's all partially because it will make some scenes that come later with Glimmer and Catra have greater impact if they didn't move away from having the Horde soldiers look and act like the stormtroopers from Star Wars. And of course it expands on these side characters that we've been following along with for a while now, much like it did with Spinnerella and Natasa. So that was episode 5 for season 4 of Overanalyzing She-ra. If you like this video and want to see more, hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button and bell to get notifications about the next episode. I try to update this series every Thursday, so please share with other fans. Also check out my channel for my video essays, music analysis, and complex character series. You might find them enjoyable as well.